Bitcoin's digital capital. So, the thing that's interesting about it is the most useful capital asset in the world. You can trade it with 50x leverage in the Far East on a Sunday morning. That's the price you pay to have the highest performing capital asset. So Bitcoin's always going to be very volatile and it's going to be high performance. And if you want to invest in it as a capital investor, you need to have a 4 to 10 year time horizon. If you don't have that 4 to 10 year time horizon, then probably you're better as a credit investor. And what you want to do is hold digital credit, like our STRC instrument.
Bitcoin just pulled back again. And while panic spreads across social media, Michael Saylor's reaction is surprisingly calm, because to him, this isn't chaos. It's simply the market doing what it has always done. Volatility is not a threat. It's the price of admission to a revolutionary asset. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin is hovering around $70,000. And instead of sounding alarms, Saylor is doubling down on a message he's repeated for years. If the world truly understood Bitcoin the way he does, the price would already be at $10 million. That belief shapes everything about his strategy. To Saylor, downturns are not failures, they're opportunities to accumulate digital capital at a discount. And history backs up that conviction. MicroStrategy's transformation is one of the most dramatic corporate turnarounds in modern markets. Once viewed as a struggling tech company, it repositioned itself by placing Bitcoin at the center of its balance sheet, and the results were staggering. Over the following years, the company went from market underperformer to one of the most watched and discussed stocks in finance, fueled largely by its aggressive Bitcoin accumulation. Saylor's now viral statement, "We can buy more Bitcoin than the sellers can sell," reflects a long-term conviction rooted in scarcity and institutional adoption. With ETFs gaining traction, treasury companies entering the space, and global capital searching for hard digital assets, Saylor views short-term fear as temporary noise in a much larger transformation of the financial system. He often describes Bitcoin as digital capital, a new financial framework designed for an era defined by innovation, speed, and global connectivity. As traditional finance evolves into a more digital ecosystem, Bitcoin sits at the center of that shift, acting as both store of value and technological backbone. So while headlines scream crash, Saylor sees a familiar pattern: doubt before growth, fear before expansion. The real question isn't whether volatility will continue, it's whether investors can see beyond it. Let's dive deeper into his latest Fox News interview and hear directly how he interprets this moment in Bitcoin's journey.
I'm going to talk to you about the STRC in a minute. Obviously, that's come under some criticism as well. But I want to go back, because you and I have had some great conversations over the years about what Bitcoin could do for the world, not just investors, but how it could change the status of the world, particularly underprivileged folks. In fact, recently you reiterated, if the rest of the world knew what I know, MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, you're saying that your stock and Bitcoin, will go to 10 million. What is it that the world is missing? What is the message that too many people still don't understand?
You know what? The key to understand with Bitcoin is digital capital means property rights to 8 billion people from the palm of your hand. So we've never in the history of the world had the ability to give wealth in a portable asset that you could move at the speed of light on a mobile phone or computer to computer. And most of the people in the world, 6 billion of them or more, they don't have access to real estate in the United States as a store of value. So for them, Bitcoin is the closest thing to being able to move all of their assets, all of their wealth to the United States, to the most secure place in the world.
You also, in the past, said that the United States itself should secure millions of Bitcoin. We do have a crypto-friendly administration, but recently I think maybe it's the banking industry, there have been some setbacks down in Washington, D.C. What's your feelings with respect to policy and maybe some of the pressures on Bitcoin right now emanating from the fact that maybe you've hit a few speed bumps in D.C.?
Well, the nation bought Alaska, it bought Texas, it bought California, it bought the Louisiana territory. They were all very good investments. We think about Greenland right now. That's on the top of everybody's tongue. What's pretty clear is that you're going to want to be the leader in digital intelligence, that's AI, and you're going to be the leader in digital assets. If the nation doesn't buy most of the Bitcoin network, at the very least, what we want is constructive policy so that United States companies buy and United States investors buy digital assets, and that way the taxpayers and the nation benefits from their efforts.
A powerful vision is taking shape, one where the United States positions itself as the global hub of crypto and financial innovation. This is a message President Trump has consistently emphasized, making America the center of the next digital financial revolution. And it's a perspective that strongly aligns with Michael Saylor's outlook on Bitcoin's long-term impact. Saylor argues that we may not yet fully grasp how deeply this technological shift could reshape the future of the U.S. economy. History offers perspective. When America purchased Louisiana in 1803 or Alaska in 1867, many questioned those bold decisions. Today, those investments are seen as visionary moves that expanded opportunity and reshaped global influence. Saylor believes Bitcoin could represent a similar moment, a strategic leap into the future of digital capital. Regardless of short-term market swings, bullish or bearish cycles, his conviction remains clear. Bitcoin represents an evolving financial framework that continues to gain strength over time. Volatility may shake confidence temporarily, but innovation tends to reward long-term vision. Let's dive deeper into Saylor's latest interview and hear more about how he sees Bitcoin shaping the next chapter of financial leadership.
At last read, MicroStrategies, or Strategy rather, had over 700,000 Bitcoin, 22.8% yield in fiscal year 2025. Are you still, how profitable has the overall trade been or investment?
The company's 100 times bigger than it was 5 years ago, Charles. It's been an extraordinary achievement. The stock's up by a factor of 10. We've outperformed every Mag 7 company except for NVIDIA. So it's extremely profitable. I think the company's 3x the performance of the S&P index over that time frame. So we're very pleased with the Bitcoin strategy.
This shift to the STRC variable rate Series A perpetual stretch preferred stock financial instrument, and essentially you say the way you frame it from a high level point of view is that for decades investors have had to choose between two imperfect options: credit, lower volatility, principal protection but low yields, and equity, higher long-term performance, deferred capital gains but substantial volatility and drawdowns, which of course we're in the midst of right now. How does this thread that needle?
The way to think about stretch is we take the first 11% of the Bitcoin capital gain over time. We pass that through to the stretch investor in a cash monthly payment as a return of capital dividend. So the credit investor is getting double-digit performance. They're getting deferred capital gains treatments. They're getting principal protection. We over-collateralize the instrument 4 to 5 to 1, and they're getting very low volatility. And that's a benefit to them. That their choice, if they want to be credit investor, would be to buy corporate bonds, which have a 70 basis point credit spread. In essence, corporate bonds are at a 30-year low credit spread, and junk bonds aren't that much better. So stretch gives you 2 to 3 times the cash flow of conventional credit if you're a credit investor. And if you're an equity investor, you don't have to stomach the drawdowns and the volatility of equity. You've got something which is over-collateralized and principal protected.
Is there a number on Bitcoin on the downside that changes the dynamics, that you have to go back to the drawing board on this?
No, we're so over-collateralized on this that we can weather bull markets, bear markets as long as we need to.
You once said that if you had a lung or a kidney, sell it, buy Bitcoin. That was about 120,000. I got one kidney left. What do I do with it?
What I'd say is if you can wait for 10 years, Bitcoin's going to be the best capital asset. If you've got a time horizon of less than 4 years, you ought to buy Stretch because it's digital credit and it pays 2 to 4x the cash flow of any conventional credit. And, if you want to get on the roller coaster and you want to amplify Bitcoin, then you would buy our equity, but you got to be ready for an 80 vol asset with massive drawdowns and rallies.
Has the embrace of Wall Street helped or hurt at this point?
I think it's a tremendous benefit to the entire crypto economy. There are billions and billions of dollars of capital that's flowing into the crypto economy, into the Bitcoin network via Wall Street investors and the vehicles they care about. Some of them have to buy public equity. Others need to buy derivatives and options, puts and calls that trade on regulated exchanges. A third class want to buy convertible bonds and they can't get exposure any other way. And now there's a fourth class of investors, these digital credit investors, and they want to buy the preferred stock that's publicly listed and liquid. And if we didn't offer them a product like STRC, they wouldn't be investing in anything related to Bitcoin.
Got about 40 seconds to go. A couple years ago, there was a headline, Bitcoin saves the world, Gresham's law. Will Bitcoin still save the world?
Look, at the end of the day, Bitcoin represents the digital transformation of capital. It's wealth that you can move at the speed of light, that you can vibrate 1,000,000 times a second, that 1 billion AIs can talk to 1 billion AIs about. And it's empowering to everyone that believes in technology as a way to live a better life.